Yep. Yeah, that. What up, peoples? Welcome to the Even Beaver Show. Yeah, I'm all about shenanigans tonight, folks. Can I tell you, I am all about shenanigans tonight. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So, let's see. Last week, I had I've had a couple guests on the last couple of shows. Some really fun people too. They had a lot of interesting things to say. Um, and if you missed last week's show, if you missed the show before that, you need to go back and check them out. Last week we talked about I had what did I have on last week? Venice Williams was on last week. We spoke about a bunch of things, but that was a really good show. The week before that, I had Shauna K. Brown on. We had a fun show then too. But today, I can't help myself. I just love the shenanigans sometimes, I think is really what my issue is. Great shirt. What does my shirt say today? It says the National Sarcastic Society. Like we need your support. Like we need your support. We're the National Sarcastic Society. We don't care about you. It's whatever. All right. So if this is your first time joining the Even Beaver Show, and like I usually do, I'm Martin Matthews. Hi. Welcome to the show. My book is somewhere back there. There, one of them. It's a book of poetry called Love, Life, Confrontation, Expressions, Selections from the Chronicles of a Black Man. It is a book of poetry. It's available in Jamaica in Fontana pharmacies. It's available worldwide on Amazon.com. So I can't stop laughing because this show is gonna be like, I don't know where I come up with these things, man. Who comes up with these kind of things? So let's get into it. But like I was saying before, though, if you missed my last two shows, probably my last three shows, I had some really good guests on and we covered some really good content. I intend to snip some of those videos and let you see, some of the highlights from the show because they were really good shows. But tonight, I have a quick show for y'all, believe it or not. But tonight we're going to talk about my fantastically fake social media life. Now, I intended to call it my fantastically fake Facebook life, which in my mind is pretty much the same thing. But I figured I'd go social media just to make it broader, even though Facebook pretty much owns half the social media platforms out there today anyways. Okay. What we're going to do initially, I haven't even identified a poem that I'm going to read yet. While y'all are here, tell me what poems you want to hear. So before I get right into the shenanigans, I want us to kind of understand or wrap our head around Facebook itself, social media itself, where it was, where it started, and how we got to where we are now. Okay, so we're going to start with that. So Facebook, Instagram, all of them, they're social networking platforms. You go on there, you put yourself out there. People go on there, they do the same. If you see people with similar interests, y'all link up and it's whatever. And I went back in Home Studio 1 today. This is Home Studio 1 because it has a fake background. um, because we're talking about my fantastically fake social media life. So I figured I'd have a fake background today. So we're going to talk about it. So Facebook, before it became Facebook, was actually called Face Mash, FACEMASH. In October 2003, y'all know who, Mr. Mark himself, um, created Facebook as a second year student at Harvard or Cambridge or somewhere. By the next year, he had changed the name to The Facebook with a THE at the end. He later on dropped the THE and just kept the Facebook. Okay, now Mark and friends got together. They created the Facebook, or they created Face Smash. Now, initially, Facebook was limited to Harvard students only, and me and y'all didn't go to Harvard, so we couldn't even get on back in the day. All right, Harvard students only. It was later on extended to other colleges, and we're talking about 2003, 2004. It was later on extended to other Ivy League universities, and they were the only ones that had access to Facebook at the time when it came about in 03, 04. Now, by 2006, let's see, Shauna K is saying uh, it is still Facebook, or is it Meta a thing now? I don't know. I never heard about Meta. What is that? You got to tell me about that one. I'm slow on the uptake with these things. But all colleges by 2006 or could access it. And later on, anyone with a valid email address could access Facebook. Okay. But like we said in 03, 04, when it came about, Meta is the new name. Is it really? You see, I should have had one of y'all on the show so y'all can tell me these things. I don't know. But let's go. Let's see where we end up. Now, when Space Smash came about initially, it came about as a hot or not kind of platform. It was almost like a joke. Like Zuckerberg and his buddies, they'd post photos of two girls, or a girl on a horse, or a boy on a horse, essentially, and saying who's hot, who's not. Right? That's what it started off being. It was really a joke. It was just for the university students on campus at the time. Um, it was kind of like a who wore it best. You know how they have these events and they have these who wore it best, and they put two females up wearing the same outfit. That's kind of like how Facebook came about. It was Zuckerberg. He put two people up, hot or not, and you'd vote on it. Okay. Now the first 4 hours that they went live, there were 450 visitors and 22,000 photos were viewed in just 4 hours. Now, if you are a second year student in university and you create something that gets that kind of traction, you know you're onto something. They even ran into some issues with the Harvard administration with some copyrights and so on. But later on, they went and got some investors, and the investors that they got, at the time that they got the investors, they changed it over to the Facebook, THE Facebook. Okay, that's what it was called. And Zuckerberg said he actually intended to create a web space to connect people around the university, like I've mentioned. Me and you, all the people that are on there now, this was not for us in its inception. It was just for university students. Not only university students in bougie universities. Yeah? Harvard, Yale, Cambridge, and such. Uptown people, right? Not for me and you. But here we are. By 2005, we had dropped the THE off the name, and we were just Facebook at that time. All right. The general public by 2006, it was open to the general public, and there were over 6 million users by 2006. By 2008, there was over 100 million. By 2010, there was over 400 million. Now, what we're going to get to, and I'm approaching it this way because I want us to understand the psychology of it. You see what I'm saying? Why is it that people are attracted to it so much? Why is it that there's such attraction when it comes to this thing? You know what I mean? What makes people gravitate to it so much? And is that kind of like the reason behind the whole fantastic fake social media? Is it because it drags so much attention? And if you think about the inception of it, the who's hot or who's not, we might, the way people use it now, might still be using it in the very same way. It's like, hey, look at me, as opposed to look at you, right? Let's get going. By 2016, there was 1.8 billion users. And currently in 2022, it is said that 35.6% of the people on the planet use Facebook. There's about 8.7 million people on the planet. So that we're talking 8.7 billion people on the planet. So that's about 2.7 billion people that are on Facebook. And we're talking about a concept that was developed by a second year university student while in college, now has 2.7 billion people using it. Let that sink in. Even if he got 50 cents for each user, he'd still be good to go, right? Now, by 2011, Facebook had become the largest online platform host for photos, and there were over 100 billion photos uploaded to Facebook by 2011. So, like I said, I'm trying to make you guys wrap your head around the scope of what we're dealing with here. Okay. By 2012, 2011, 2012, that's when Facebook actually went mobile, to a mobile app. Now, what I want you to do for me real quick is think about the phone you owned back in 2011. Think about it. What phone did you have in 2011? What phone did you own? I think for me, I still had my Razor phone in 2011. In 2011, I probably still had my Razor. Some of you might have had your Blackberries by that time. A lot of people had Razors. There were some of these other little Nokia phones that were around, but phones weren't capable of doing what they're capable of doing now back in 2009, 2010. 2011, 2012 is when phones kind of took a turn. And that's when Facebook actually went mobile. And when Facebook went mobile, the viewership went to over 350 million people at the time. We're talking about 2011. Now, they had a bunch of stuff. 2010, 2011 was active for Facebook in the sense that they got sued by Yahoo for some copyright infringements. But they overcame all of that. Okay. Now, Julian Lee, you made it. Julian Lee, you made it. I'm so happy you made it, Julian Lee. I was wondering, I don't know what you be talking about. You can't find me on Facebook. I'm on there. Okay. All right. Now, so let's recap real quick. Back in 0304, Zuckerberg and buddies got together. Him and his main guy invested, you know what? Let's invest $1,000 a piece in this Facebook, or FaceMash at the time, right? By several years later, by 2012, 2011, they had 350 viewers or 350 users of their app that they developed in their dorm room. Okay. By 2005, they had gotten some investors, and Facebook was valued at $98 million. By 2006, they had gotten some more investors, and Facebook was valued over $500 million, right? By 2007, Microsoft offered Facebook somewhere between $300 and $500 million for 5% share in the company. Microsoft in 2007 offered Facebook between $300 and $500 million for 5% share in the company. This is when you see that something is going to take off and you're trying to get on the wagon, right? And what they actually ended up getting was 1.6% share for $240 million. Okay. So like I said, what I'm trying to establish here is just how contagious this Facebook, this social media concept itself is. That's the premise I'm trying to establish here. Just how contagious this thing is, just how fast it caught on, just how many people in the world are actually actively engaged in this. And then we're going to get into why people even want to do the fantastically fake as it relates to Facebook. And as it, because I was good actually going to call the show my fantastically fake Facebook live, because the F's kind of roll. And then I changed it to social media, but really I could have gone Facebook because Facebook at this point owns half of these social media platforms, anyways. Um, Talking about that, they bought Instagram in 2012. They bought Instagram in 2012. A lot of things happened with Facebook in 2012. They bought Instagram in 2012. They went public in 2012 at $38 a share and amassed $104 billion. By 2014, they bought WhatsApp for another $16 billion. And right now, today, Mark Zuckerberg is said to be valued at 71.5 billion. Facebook itself is said to be valued at $524 billion. So while you were at second year in high school trying to get the pretty girl or smoking some weed, this guy was creating an app that 2003, 2013, 2023, that 19 years later is valued 524 billion. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah. All right. That's Facebook. That's how it came about. That's the and like we said, 35.6% of the planet have Facebook. There are 7.8 billion people on the planet. 2.7 billion of them have Facebook. And if you don't know what 2.7 billion people looks like, it's a lot of people. 2.7 billion is a lot of people, okay? And if you didn't know, now you know. All right, so that's the Facebook. That's Face Smash. That's Zuckerberg and his buddies and how they got here. Let's get into how you got here. Let's get into everyday people with Facebook, on Facebook, and their shenanigans. Yeah. So, according to some studies, yeah, I like saying that for some reason, but according to some studies, more than 75% of people admit that they use social media to make their lives look more exciting. Bread up, bread. This is my friend Sheldon. He has no behavior. I'm gonna have him on the show soon. I'm gonna have him on the show soon, and it's gonna be a riot when I have him on the show. But 75% of people admit that they use social media to make their lives look more exciting than it actually is. That same 75% or not 75% of people say they judge their peers based on their Facebook profile. They judge their peers based on their Facebook profile. What do they use to judge them, may you ask? They look at places they go. They look at what they wear. They look at how they look. They look at who they're with. Francis is saying, I initially got on Facebook to connect with friends in Jamaica. Very, very, very good point, Francis. A lot of people, so here's what it is, and we're going to get into the psychology of it. A lot of people initially got into Facebook to connect with friends. It was a thing, you heard about it, it was popular. You got on there, you had 40 friends, 50. And some of them were people some of them were people you genuinely, especially us migrants, I mean, we come from Jamaica, we come from Africa, we come from, the Caribbean. We come to America. Sometimes we never had no numbers because when we left back in 01, 02, 98, 94, 96, whenever we left, cell phones were not what cell phones are now. People had landlines and these things. And if you don't know somebody landline, you pretty much don't have no way to contact them. People move and all these things. So you had no way to contact them. So for a lot of us, like Francis says, when you got on Facebook initially, you started finding a lot of people. I mean, people you legitimately had not seen since. So I left high school, and I'm telling on myself here now with how old I am. I left high school in 95 and 97. Fifth form in 95, sixth form in 97. And I got on Facebook on 2010, 2011. And there are a lot of people that I got in contact with that I had not seen or heard from since 97 or 95. And 95 to 2005, that's we're talking about 15 years. I hadn't seen or heard from any of these people. So initially, like Francis pointed out, a lot of us got on Facebook. And when we just got on, we really got in contact with a lot of people we legitimately had not heard from for a long time. And that's how Facebook started off for a lot of people. However, I'm gonna put the comment on here. But then, but then back at home, back at the office, Facebook slowly evolved into something else. And like we said, 75% of people on there are on there really making their lives looking quite a bit more exciting than it actually is. You know what I mean? And like I said, they judge their friends based on what they put on Facebook. Who is this? Stacey, you reach? Bless up yourself, my dear. Bless up yourself, you reach. Um, so here's what, okay, so now we're going to get into it. And if you just joined, thank you for joining. And you joined at a good time because now we're about to have some fun. You missed the Facebook history though that got us here, but here we are nonetheless. So let's do it. What we're saying is that a lot of people, I think, Mel, you know what? I almost messaged you the other day to ask what happened to you and why I have not been seeing you. But here you are. And thank you so much for joining the Even People Show. And like I said, you joined at a good time. So let's do this. We're saying that 75% of people on Facebook admitted that they borrowed objects to include in their photos to subtly pass it off as their own. 75% of people on Facebook borrow objects that they include in their photos to subtly pass it off as their own. And we'll get into some of those. Karen Jones, bless up yourself, my dear. Thanks for joining the Evening People Show. So one of them is, let's look at some of these things. We're talking about, all right, hang on. Before I start this, let me see what Francis is saying. Now Facebook is more of an escape for many. Like a video game, you can present only like a video game. Sorry, you can present and yes, okay, like an avatar. I see what you're saying. So like an avatar in a video game, you can be whoever you want to be on Facebook. You're correct. Borrowed objects. Julian Lee wants to know what borrowed objects are. All right, Julian Lee, let's get into what these borrowed objects are. So these borrowed objects at 75, and it was a study, it was a survey. It was done in England and it was done here in the US. And 75% of people, they borrow objects to put in there. Now, some of the objects are not physically borrowed, but you put it in your picture to subtly pass it off as your own. Now, an example of this is a car in your background. You're in the parking lot, leaving the mall, you see a car, the owner is not around, you stand by the picture, your friend takes your photo, and I don't know that it's not your car. You're standing in front of it. Of course it's your car. Why would I think it's not your car? Why would you be posing it for the car that's not your own? So you're subtly passing off the car that you're standing in front of as your own when it kind of like is not your own. Okay? Nice to know I was missed. Yes, of course you were missed, Mel. Brett is saying, there was a time when a girl would kill you if you opened her diary. Now they get mad if you don't read their Facebook post. And Brett, you see, this is why I'm going to have Brett on the show, or Sheldon Barrett on the show, because he's very insightful. He's very insightful. He gives you the down to earth version of everything, and you're correct. You take up a girl diary and look at it, you're mad. My youth, you want to get crap up on all these things. But now they're on social media half naked, all these butt pics, all these angles, showing all these things. When it's like back in the day, you can't even read their diary, much less. But now they're just presenting everything for you to see. Anyways, we'll get into that. So we said one of the things people borrow, Julia Lee, is they borrow a car, or they go to a place. They have a place in their background, a store in their background, and they take a photo in front of the store. But what you don't know is that Burberry is beside the Dollar General. They actually went to the Dollar General or the Marshalls or the Ross. But now they're taking the picture in front of the Burberry. They didn't buy anything out of the store. The bag where they have in them hand is strategically at an angle where you can read the name of the thing on the bag. Because they didn't shop in that store. They shop at the store next door. But they borrow the store in their background. It's like me right now. That's why I choose to go back to Studio One today. This is my background. Look at my background. Want to see it? Oh, a nice house. Let's show me sit down on the front lawn. No, I'm not. But here we are. You get the idea. Let's see. Karen is saying that my daughter would take a pic of meals I prepared. Your daughter would take a pic of meals you prepared and post it as her own. Anybody that really don't know, say, she cook it. Anybody see her think she cook if she's of an eligible age to have, a significant other. People out there say, yes, the girl can cook. And it's not hers. Her mommy cooking. Of course, the Dollar General. What's wrong with Dollar General? The Dollar General is now $1.25 General, just so you know. It's no longer dollar. It's $1.25 General, okay? Brady said, it's called faking it until you make it. Fake it till you make it. And maybe that is exactly what it is. So we've talked about people borrowing things to upgrade themselves on social media, right? And we said they put a car in the background, take the picture in front of the car. They take the picture in front of the place they actually didn't shop at with a shopping bag in their hand as if they did. They checking at a place, but they're actually next door. They check in, where you check in somewhere. They check in at a place, but they're actually next door. So the hotel you're staying at is a little B&B next door to the 5-star restaurant or next door to the 5-star hotel. So what you did is you check in at the 5-star restaurant because where you are at, and when you hit location to check in, the hotel popped up. So you're able to check in there because of your proximity to the place, but that ain't the place you stay in. You stay next door at a B&B, or you stay next door at a whole totally different place, but because of your proximity, it allows you to check in. So you take a photo that does not actually show your actual background. It shows enough of wherever, or it just shows you, or it shows an angle. So it's like, okay, I like taking these type photos. And I know a lot of people do. It's like taking a photo on the beach. So I take a photo on the beach. You'll see some shades. You'll see my feet. You'll see the water. Yeah, I like photos like those. And I'll check in wherever I'm at. Now, you can do that and check into the place up the block. You know what I mean? Nobody knows the water is the water. The lawn chair, the beach chair is the beach chair. You know what I mean? You can check into a place you're actually physically not at to project yourself in a particular way. Now, you can also be taking a photo with a friend that's not actually yours. It's you're taking a photo with somebody that's not your actual person. And they don't care. They might not have social media. But you're taking a photo with them anyways and putting it out there like, yeah, look at me. This is my boo. No, this ain't your boo. Stop it. That's your friend's sister. That's your friend's brother or your friend's sister. You know what I mean? But you're projecting. Now, or you're taking a photo or you post an old photo of your ex and you guys are no longer together. Like you don't want nobody to know, say you're single. So you post a photo of your ex or you with your ex. It's an old photo. You post it now like it is a new photo. And your ex are not even together. They're not on social media. Or do you and them are no friends, so they're not going to see the photo, but you're posting it as if you guys are together when in a split long time. Maybe Google showed you or Facebook showed you your photo from 5 years ago that it does with these reminders. And all of a sudden you post it and you're projecting it as if it is your reality when it's actually not your reality. Shauna K is saying, Facebook is so liberal. You can stay in Jamaica. You can stay in Jamaica and check in Dubai. Exactly. So you can be at a place, take a photo at a certain angle that has something in the background you think looks like Dubai or looks like a place in Dubai. You checking in Dubai, you ain't in Dubai. You know you ain't in Dubai. Why you checking in Dubai when you in Jamaica? You know what I mean? And that's we gonna get into something else about regarding that in a minute. I'm chilling and saying, what about the delayed posts? Like saving pictures from a previous vacation to post as if you're still on vacation. You're not there no more. You went to that place like 3 years ago, but you post some of the photos, you didn't post some, you end up going through your phone, you stumble upon the photo and you realize, oh wait, I didn't post this one. If I post this one right now, nobody ain't gonna know that I'm not there. And you post it again. The show is called My Fantastically Fake Social Media Life, is what the show is called. And we're looking at some of these fantastically fake things. I will get into the nitty gritty of it here in a minute. Now, I got one for you. What time of year is it? It's graduation time of year. It's the time you walk down with your tassel on your hat. You collect something on the stage, you throw it up in the air. What if I told you that there are folks out here that are countdown on their pages to graduation? They're not graduating. They're not even in school. But they're counting down to graduation. And ain't no graduation taking place. They posting some old graduation pics. They're going to people. They're posting diploma. It's fake. Why are you doing it? It ain't happening. Stop it. It's not happening. Stop it. Okay. All right. So let's keep moving here. Now, another thing is, what the survey also said is that 50% of people post pics to cause jealousy among their friends and family. And some of the things that we've mentioned already alludes to that, where you would check in at places you really are not. You would have things in your background that are really not yours, and you're projecting it as if it is yours because you want other people that view it to be jealous of you, even though it's not really yours. You know what I mean? Let's see. Shauna K is in danger zone. People see these potentially fake lifestyle and they're going out of their way to mimic them. They are. It's like a lot of people want to be like rappers in music videos or want to be like people in music videos in general. Dude, they got dressed up to make that music video. That's not how they live in real life. That's a music video, you lunatic. That's not how they live. Like, stop it. It's ridiculous. Mel is saying, you are talking about a special kind of people. But man, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Like someone pointed out earlier, like Francis pointed out earlier, when we started, a lot of us when we started Facebook, it was really just to find people we hadn't seen in a long time. People from high school, people from college. And we found those people. But then after we found those people, and we were there with those people, Facebook kind of took on a life of its own. It became something else altogether. Um, Vimba is saying, or when people pass a 5-year-old pic when they were super fit, as if it is a current pic. You ain't look like that no more, guy. You gained like 15 pounds. You stumble on this nice fit cut picture and put it out there. That's not how you look anymore. Stop it. It's criminal. I just learned that some of these graduates purchase the tassel off Amazon. So you purchase the gown, you purchase the tassel off Amazon, you post a bunch of pictures, you get your face made up or whatever if you're female, that is, and post a bunch of pictures. You ain't graduating from nowhere. Stop it. Mind you, it's fantastically fake, and I'm happy if you're happy, but that's not what's. Pleasure, hello, my dear. Thanks for joining the Even People show. I need to have you back on the show, Clicia. I have a topic in here waiting for you. I'm going to reach out so we can get that done. We're talking about my fantastically fake social media life. We went down the list of how social media itself came about and what got us here today. We're looking at some of the shenanigans people are pulling on social media to pass it off. What we're talking about, we say 75 of the people they judge their peers based on the profile, where the person goes, what they wear, how they look, who they're with. We looked at and saw that a bunch of other people, they're trying to project things or they borrow things that are not theirs put it in the background of their pic as if it is theirs. So they take a picture in front of a car that's not theirs, making you think it's. They go to a place that they really didn't shop with a handbag, even though they shop next door. They're checking in at places because when they go to check in, they have that option to check into that place, but they're not really there. You pose with friends that are other people's people that you're trying to pass off as your own. You post with an ex, you post a long time picture with your ex that you're not even with the ex, and you're counting down for graduation when you ain't graduating from nowhere. All right. Mel is saying that they say you gotta vision your dream before it comes true. So maybe posting pics with the true. You're right. It's like the information for the show itself said. Is it your representation of you projecting your aspired self, who you intend to become? Is that a thing? Shauna K said that I was on High Five and resisted Facebook for a while now. What is a high five? I have no idea what that is. Somebody please tell. You see, you knew. I think you're trying to entrap me. That's entrap me. I don't know what that is. You have to tell me what that is. Um, See, I know. Charlie, you should meet Bread. Bread is a riot, an entire riot. And then Stacey is saying that it's actually sad that people feel the need to do these things to be accepted. But is it only acceptance though? Is it only acceptance? Is there a method to the madness? Is there something that is less obvious that is happening behind the scenes? And we're actually going to get into it. I'm glad you said that, Stacey. Now, we're saying that people post pics to cause jealousy um, among friends and family. Psychologists have actually looked into the psychology behind it. And one behavioral psychologist said, in the past, fashion and style, right, used to live and die in magazines. But in this new world where you have instant communication with everybody across the planet, social media is the new stage for everyone. And everyone is an actress or a model. And they are essentially what you would only see in magazines back in the day, you can now see on social media every day. There's also the factor of instant gratification. I mean, you post something, people like it, they share it, they comment on it, and you get some kind of instant gratification. You take pleasure in wearing what the celebrities wear, in going places that they go, in eating at places that they eat, and it gives you a sense of, it gives you that whole feel good feeling. So the whole psychology behind social media, to an extent, let's think about this for a second. Let's slow down here. What makes us like, post, share, comment, and keep coming back for more tomorrow? What really actually causes that? What is psychology behind it? Why do we keep doing it? One of the things that was postulated by psychologists is what actually takes place in the brain. What they're saying takes place in the brain is that Facebook stimulates a part of the brain called the nucleus accumbens. What on earth just happened? Tell me y'all can still see me. My screen went black here. I started having this problem. That's why I stopped using green screen. Somebody comment if y'all can see me. I can't see myself. But I'm gonna keep going. Usually you can hear me even when I can't see myself. Can y'all see me? Okay, yes, you all can see me. I can't see myself. I'm done using green screen. Because every time I do it, this happens. Thank y'all. All right, so I can't see myself, but I'm gonna wing it. This is even better. So now I can't even see the shenanigans I'm doing. This is perfect. Now, like we said, what goes on in the brain, it stimulates a part of the brain, and that part possesses the rewarding feeling. That part possesses the rewarding feeling, right? So it's the part of the brain that processes rewarding feelings about food, sex, money, and social acceptance, right? It's like, and Facebook gives us that positive reinforcement that gives us that pleasure. So you post, people like, people share, people comment, and when you look at it, this psychological process that takes place in the body and the part of the brain that it stimulates gives you a feel good feeling. So the people that get stuck on that adrenaline, so to speak, they want to post more, share more, put more things out there to get that instant gratification that they get when they put it out there. Somebody realized that, and you realize now, you have to realize though, this is, you're seeing my voice, have no sense. This is kind of like a slippery slope because some people realize that where can you get the t-shirt that I have on? I don't know. I'm not sure where I got this t-shirt. I get it where I shop. It's probably some random place like Kohl's or Target. I'm not a name brand kind of guy, so check Kohl's. My money is on Kohl's. That was Julia Lee saying where she could get the shirt I have on. But the psychology behind it, like I'm saying, is that when you actually post on Facebook and you're getting response and you're getting feedback, there's actually a part of the brain that gets pleasure from this, and that's what's keeping us coming back for more. It's almost like a drug. It's kind of, but like I said, it's a rabbit hole that if you get caught going down it, you can go far down. Like you realize that, for example, when you post your bathing suit pics, it gets more likes than your fully clothed pics. So now you're tempted to now post more bathing suit pics. Now you're tempted to post some more risque pics. I remember screenshotting a photo I saw on Facebook and sending it in one of my WhatsApp chat group and said, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? And I'll let y'all fill in the blank. It was somebody in a bathing suit, a white bathing suit. And I was like, if I was that person's significant other, I'd have a problem. That photo should never have been posted, in my opinion. But maybe that's the kind of attention they want, and that's the kind of photo that gets them the response that they're looking for. Or maybe they had just posted similar photos and got attention, realized that they were in a slump because something they posted did not get as much likes, so the high that they get from it was not as high, so they swung for the fences and posted something that, in my opinion, should never have been posted. Winty, build up yourself, my youth. So true. Social media, um, um you know what I mean? Person's home, bathroom, kitchen, closet. Yeah, sometimes it actually gets out of hand. Sometimes it actually gets out of hand, and people are posting things to stay relevant, to achieve that high. I watch a lot of Criminal Minds and CSI and stuff like that, and they say even see. Can I use this example? It's kind of a bad example, but anyways, a lot of time people that commit crime, they're trying to achieve the high they got the first time by doing it, so they keep committing the crime or keep committing similar crimes or escalate the crimes that they commit. It's kind of like that. The pleasure that you derive initially, it's like you are, you keep seeking it, and you keep posting the type of photos that you felt like got you that response, and sometimes it takes you way out of where you need to be. Floyd Williams, I linked you earlier, Mr. Williams, and I asked you for some information that you have not yet provided. So how about you go check that and see what you can do for me? All right, so that's one of the things. So, and then, more equals more. So you get more, you put more things out there, you put more risky things out there, if that is the case, and you get more response, so you keep doing it. You also have a thing they call the flow zone. It's when the pupils dilate, is when you feel like you're totally engulfed in something and you experience happiness. That's when you are stuck on the phone. When you take up your phone to go do something, you get a notification, and next thing you know, you're watching you're watching a video, and you're laughing, and you're laughing, and then you're watching another video, and you're watching another video. YouTube does that quite a bit. YouTube, I remember, I never did a lot on YouTube. And then several years after YouTube was up and booming, I realized what YouTube had on it, just how wide the scope was. And I remember one night I couldn't sleep because I work nights a lot, so I'm nocturnal for the most part. And I was up, off, couldn't sleep. I started watching a concert. I started watching Damien Marley concerts because I like Damien Marley. And I was up the entire night till the sun came up, watching just live performances because I really, really like live performances. And after Damien Marley, I started watching all the Marleys, and I was literally zoomed in watching all these performances. And that kind of gives you, that certain feeling that you get, and it will suck you in. And if you posting gives you that feeling, it's the next best thing to a drug. Shauna K is saying, interestingly, I am able to be a private person and still maintain my presence on social media. I think it all comes down to intentionality. And to a large extent it does. But you see, Shanaka, you're a focused individual. Not everybody is as deliberate in their actions as you might be. Some persons kind of just go with the flow. Some person kind of just, instead of trying to steer their way in a certain direction, they're kind of just like sitting in the boat and let the tide take the boat wherever the boat wants to go. You know what I mean? And when they do that, they end up in places they really may or may not have intended to be in. Now, other things that they look at, some people look at likes as currency. You know what I mean? Like the more likes you get, it's like somebody's giving you a nod. You're doing something and somebody is acknowledging what you're doing. So you're like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing this because you get likes, you get a nod. Somebody say, yeah, that good, that nice. So you keep doing it. The feeling of getting getting affirmations. You know what I mean? And what we're looking at, let's slow down here. What we're looking at is what gets people sucked into this. What makes people want to perpetuate this fantastically fake social media life is because of the feeling in some instances that they themselves get from it, and something that they're lacking that they're getting. They get to express virtual empathy. Look, I'm back. I can see myself now. They get to express virtual empathy. So sometimes people share some sad things, and you get to comment and share and like, and you're virtually expressing empathy for these people. You get to express yourself too in comments, because here's the thing: you have some folks that in their job, in the nature of their job, they get to talk to people. They're in front of people. They're in front of crowds. They're in front of students. They get to talk. That thing that you get from being in that situation, they have that. They're not lacking in that area. Other persons might work from home. Other persons might work from home. They don't get to go out as much. They don't have places to go out as much, especially during even COVID when people did on lockdown and all these things. And they use social media as their window to the world. They use it as giving them, that's what they use to stay connected to what was happening on the outside. You know what I mean? That feeling that you get from doing some of these things, if you're not actually doing them, you're actually not getting the feeling. So you have to virtually try to achieve it. And at times, you can achieve that through social media. And it makes us feel connected. And a lot of us, like we stated earlier, started off seeking this connection and achieved this connection with a lot of people that we haven't seen for years and decades even. But then it was after that the shenanigans started. Cecilia is saying, I'm guilty of that currently. Night shift has ruined my sleep pattern. Yeah, I don't even stress it. Like I'll be up all night right now. Maybe what's in my cup changes that, but let's not talk about that. So what is this? Sharing, aligning ourselves, like supporting a cause is one of the reasons as well. We align ourselves with a cause, a personal thing, and it's in, and it might help us. And some persons, like I said, so let's look at this real quickly before I actually get into the other side of the show here. There's also a reversed effect where persons that are looking, because you have people that look more than share. So they're on Facebook quite a lot, even more than the people that share, but they don't actually share. All they do is look. And for a lot of those people, it could increase their feeling of isolation or increase their feeling of jealousy. When they see people from the same place that they're at living these fantastically fabulous fake lives, you know what I mean? And they might view those lives as real. And in some cases, those lives are real. And it might increase their feeling of isolation, their feeling of failure, their feeling of, I should have done more, I could have done more, I should have been further, I should have accomplished more, because they see these people posting these things that they're doing. So for some people, it has the reverse effect. They're on there, and they're on there a lot too, but it's not having a positive effect. It's having the reverse, it's having a negative effect. Brett said him a fast in a people business, and sometimes that's exactly what they're doing. They're checking out what everybody else is doing, but in some instances, it is helping people that are in bad situations to devolve into worse situations, because they are now looking at some of these things, whether real or fake, and they're making it put them in a worse state than they're in. We also have stuff like bullying that takes place on social media. We also have stuff like people, with body image issues, because everybody just tend to post all these fantastic. Yo, I want to say this too. I never even thought about it. Some folks, they have mastered the art of taking the photo of themselves at that angle that covers all their right sides. So I'm gonna tell you all a story real quick. I dated online back in the day, right? I dated online. I dated several people online, and you'd look at the profile, you'd see the person, you'd message, you'd whatever, you'd set up the date, you'd go on the date. And there have been instances where I arrived early, sat in the car, saw the person arrive, and left. And said, I messaged them and said, oh my God, I can't make it. Something came up. They look nothing like their profile. I lied them, I tell them. You know what I mean? It was an illusion. They took all those photos, they posted a bunch of old photos like we see people do on social media. You show up and you see the person, and you're like, is that them? No, there's no way. There's no way. Yes, that is them. I lied them, I tell, and I left. A message, I say, I'm not going to make it, because people tend to do that. Mel is saying social media is not for the faint of heart. It's not. It's not. If you can't actually go there and see what's what, if you're taking it too seriously, you're going to have a problem. Mel is saying, yes, I'm still trying to learn the art of the samurai. Some people use Facebook to create fake images for other people. Then they feel bad about their real life versus the other person's fake life. And you're correct. I mean, you have to, but you see, we must understand too, the people that are on Facebook are people, just like regular people. People that are in your lives, people that are in everyday life are the same people that are on Facebook, right? And the issues that people have in real life are the same issues people going to have on Facebook. You know what I mean? So if I have low self-esteem, if I have some image issues, if I have whatever issue I have, me on social media ain't going to be different. I can project whatever I want to project, but I'm still going to have whatever issue I have. We were talking about the negative sides of it, the feeling of isolation, jealousy, bullying, body image issues, the fear of missing out or being different, anxiety and depression. And real quickly, I'm just going to say that police and crime fighters actually use social media to catch people. All right. Now we're going to get into some pasa now. Mr. Brady is saying, it sucks, man. Sometimes I hesitate to post my work due to folks pressuring me for money, because they see that I completed a project, and what they want next is some money. I know how you feel, bro. I know how you feel. For branding purposes, there are people who get everything professionally done for social media. They can be dangerous when you have in-person meetings. Yeah, because I was a photographer. I took photos for a living at one point in my life. And you can do a lot of things with photos. You can make people look however you want them to look. And now you have all kind of things that you can use to edit how people actually look. You can literally change your face. You have these filters. That's another thing too. You have all these filters that people can put on. You put on these filters, somebody smooth out all their edges. You go and meet them in person. You're like, what the hell? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You know we're going to meet eventually. Why would you put all these photos on there that are filtered when you know that when I see you, the person that you project yourself to be is not who I'm going to meet? Now I'm just going to be upset. I know exactly what you mean. People hitting you up for money. And I'm like, how? Because they see you. It's so crazy. A friend of mine in England, he posted something the other day that I saw, and he was responding to, I guess, something. He was responding to persons asking him how, I guess it was related to the same money issue, but people were wondering how he can travel the way he travels. And he was breaking it down for them. He was like, you smoke cigarettes. and you spend X amount of money on cigarettes per week, per month. I don't smoke cigarettes. And he listed a couple other things that people do that are bad habits, or not bad habits. They're habits that people have that are costly. You know what I mean? I saw somebody in front of me at the gas station the other day, and the guy bought 2 packs of cigarettes, and I heard the lady tell him whatever, and I'm like, all he bought was the cigarettes, and she was like, yeah. I said, that's how much cigarettes cost, and she was like, yeah. So you might have that habit. You don't realize that all your money is going away in cigarettes. I don't smoke. So yes, I can afford to travel to wherever I travel. But it's not because I have more money than you do. It's because I choose to spend my money differently than how you spend it. You know what I mean? Flemo in the place. Best of yourself. Flemo down in the house. Say exactly, Martin. And they have the nerve to set up a date. Oh, you're talking about those people who have all the fake pictures. Yeah, man, other one who will post your headshot, and then you see them and you realize, whoa. Style me. People don't realize that potential employers look on their Facebook profile before they even decide to invite them to the job. Yeah, that does happen at times too. And like I said, crime fighters as well even do that. We've hired people. I'm part of the hiring process at my job, and sometimes the HR people come to me and say, "Yo, you see, you know this guy, this, that. Look at this guy. That's the guy that we just interviewed yesterday." Yeah, you gotta look. You gotta be aware about these things. Brett saying, I got tricked a few years ago in Jamaica. The girl looked so smooth and nice until I met her face to face in Mandeville Town. What a mess. What a mess. What a mess. But oh, Janake, you should meet Brett. Brett is a riot. Brett is a riot for real. All right, now, and like with people use it to escape. People use social media to escape from their real lives. Let me see what Mr. Andrew Wint is saying before I jump into what I have next. He said, I have the same experience dating online and decided to meet up, and man, stood across from the meeting spot, saw her. Instantly, I left and called her and said, where are you? Yeah. Sometimes they be tricking people. You have all these photos posted on your profile at in the right lighting, at the right time of day, when the sun hits you just right and bring out all your positive features at the right angle. It's like those people that take picture with their hand on their stomach. Why we always up to some foolishness? Why are we always up to some foolishness? We need to stop it. Okay, so we said people use social media to escape from their real life. But the question is that a bad thing? Is that actually a bad thing? Is you using social media to escape from your real life actually a bad thing? You know what I mean? Many saying, no meeting up until I have seen you face to face. Brother say, true man, for reals, for reals. So check this. We said social media can do a lot of things. It can help people project their ideal self or their ideal life, right? They're using social media to project the person they wish they were. They're using social media to project the person they want to become, and potentially will become. Like we said, social media can use to induce jealousy. So I'm putting stuff out there to make other people feel jealous for whatever reason. We say people use it to portray images that does not exist, in the sense that or they're portraying an image that does not exist. So this is me posing in front of the car that I know is not mine. This is me posting in front of this place I know I can't shop. This is me going to Amazon and buying one graduation hat when me now graduate from Norway, and take picture in it and post it. It's deceptive. You're correct, my dear. It is deceptive. And some people just do it to seek attention. You know what I mean? And here's the thing too. Here's what we must understand too, though. Here's what we must understand. A lot of people out there actually need therapy. A lot of people out there need therapy. They really should be sitting on somebody's blue sofa and talking through some stuff, but they don't. A lot of them that look like me and you might say, yeah, our people don't get therapy. Therapy of it, other people that don't look like us, right? But you need therapy. You might need a whole heap of therapy because you have some stuff that you're dealing with. And you're using social media as your therapy. You're using social media, whether positively or negatively or productively or not productively. You're using it as your therapy to work through whatever it is that you actually need therapy for. The question is that a bad thing? Is the fact that I'm using social media in the way that I'm using it, is it a bad thing? Um, and like we said, we use social media to connect to old friends. You know what I mean? And yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm in contact now with a lot because so from I left Jamaica in 2001. I finished Michael in 2001, left Jamaica in 2001, and I joined Facebook in 2010, 2011. And there are a lot of people and that I went to Manchester High School with, or that I went to Michael Teachers College with, that I had no idea where they were until I joined Facebook. You all that I'm in contact with now, a lot of people that are literally right here, right now, viewing the show, I met you through Facebook. A lot of guests that I've had on the show, I've never met them in real life. I met them through Facebook, and because of the vibe that they have, because of my perception of them, I figured, yeah, this is somebody that I feel like if me and them were in the same place at the same time, we could vibe. And I reach out to them and say, yo, come on my show, come deal with the thing. And some of them do and some of them don't, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? But it does have that ability to help you to connect with old friends. Stacey is saying, post it when you become it. And I get that too. I get the whole post it when you become it. But if I post it before I become it, is that a bad thing? Is there something actually wrong with me doing that? And if so, what exactly is wrong with it? Winty is saying, social media can make or break you depending on your approach. Also, it's a venting avenue. It is a venting avenue. That's what I'm saying. If people are using social media in a way that can help them constructively work through some of the issues that they have. So me, I'm working from home. I'm in a place I don't have a bunch of friends. I'm afraid of COVID. I don't want to go outside. I'm pretty much antisocial, but on social media, I can be a rock star because you give me a keyboard or you give me a phone and a keypad and I can be whoever I want to be. Is that a bad thing? Is me having that outlet a bad thing for me to have? Because it can help me level my vibes. It can help me achieve the social interaction that I need to be functional in society. Isn't that better than taking up gun and go shoot up people because we have some issues? You know what I mean? What if Facebook is what I'm using to keep me on the level? Would you prefer I go buy an AR-15 and shoot people to work out my issues? And here in America, that happens so much that it's clear that some people really now work out those issues. Would you prefer if those people were on social media, even fantastically misrepresenting their life, but if you keep them at home and keep the gun and the bullet them in the storage closet, isn't that a better option? Let's see. Shauna King is saying, I have met some amazing people on social media and also reconnected with old friends from primary school. Yeah, what's wrong with that? You're not wrong with that. Reconnect. It depends. For accountability purposes, you can post what you are working on now. You are forced to follow through. And like I said, is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing? Is it really a bad thing if it is helping these people get through? Because it can also inspire others. It can inspire others. You posting your life, whether real or fantastic, can inspire others. You know what I mean? You can have social media to provide a service. Some people actually make money off social media. Here I am. I'm on Facebook now, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, doing my show. More often than not, I have guests on that really share something positive and try to uplift people and try to make people think out of their box. I remember I had what was her name? I had a guest on here and her name eludes me right now that failed CXC maths like 5 times and still ended up passing and still ended up teaching in Jamaica, ended up teaching in Japan, ended up teaching in the United States. So she failed maths 5 times CXC and has taught in 3 different countries. One of the country that does not speak her native language. Now, if that person had stopped anywhere along the way, their circumstances would have been different. You know what I mean? But that person stuck through it. So you can use social media genuinely to uplift people, to provide a service, to make other people out there that see realize that, hey, I can pull myself up by my own bootstraps and potentially get something done here. Flimadon is saying people should just be themselves and be proud of who they are, wherever they are in life, wherever they have reached, because some people have done some crazy things just to be someone that they are not. You are correct. You are correct, Flemo. A lot of people have overdone it. A lot of people have. It's so funny. I usually stream my music. I usually stream my music from my phone in the car. 'Cause my car doesn't have a CD player. But today I put in a couple of days ago. I put my memory stick back in because I have a bunch of music on there, and Cartel Clark's booth, the whole series of song he had about Clark's came on, and the song was a true Mr. Clark's, everybody want one. Kids a laugh, everybody want one. The eagle laugh, everybody want one. So listen for the real bad man. Now bow down, we know what it be, where you have the real bank robber with the theory you have. That's kind of like what Flip was saying. Don't go out there and do nothing crazy because you want to represent or you want to present a particular way. Where will you have, essentially, in the words of I can't believe I'm quoting Cartels. Okay, whatever. Where will you have? You know what I mean? No need for you to be anybody outside of who you actually are. What's wrong with you being who you actually are, right? See, it's interesting. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with reconnecting with your friends or posting that you're working on yourself. It's actually inspiring. What's wrong is posting what you're not in a deceptive manner. It's a deception. It's you trying to play it off as you. You know what I mean? I aspire to a lot of things that I'm not yet, that I aspire to become. And there are a lot of things I could post to show, to indicate that I might already be there and I'm not. But why? If you see me checking someplace, I'm there. If you see me standing in front of a car, I might, or one of my friends, you know what I mean? But it's usually what you see is what you get. But yeah, it's not in no real way to deceive. Or Satan is saying, try not to deceive. You know what I mean? Stay 100%, stay true to yourself, and represent yourself as you are. Same thing Flemodan was saying. It's a joy to see your colleagues out there doing great things. This is a positive form, and you're correct. But you see, Brad, this is what we talked about too. There's also a flip side to that where it makes some people feel belittled or feel like they have not done enough and they should do more. You understand? I remember when we did Flemo. You remember too when we did the what did we do? The Michael thing the other day. When we did the 20-year return to Michael thing the other day, and a lot of people didn't show up. We made it easy for them because we didn't want anybody to feel left out or feel different or feel like because they can't contribute, whatever. We wanted to make a contribution to Michael. We have a WhatsApp chat group. We got donations because we wanted to make a significant donation to the college as a batch. We had several events. Flemodan did one of them, Bread, you, me, and a couple other people. We funded the events just trying to make it easier for everybody. So we told them, no, for the event, we just want you to contribute to the fund that we're trying to donate. As far as the events, we funded the events. A couple of us, 4, 5, 6 of us funded the events. Flemo done hosted one. Flemo hosted one of the events. And at the end of that event, Flemo, we have a whole heap of food left. Didn't we? We had a whole heap of food left because people just didn't show up. And all they had to do was show up. We weren't asking anything of them. We thought we were making it easy for them just to show up. And a lot of people didn't show. And did they not show because they couldn't? Or did they not show because they felt like they didn't contribute, or because they felt like somebody else that was there was further along than they are, or because they felt like they had not achieved enough, or because they felt like whatever. It's the same kind of social media setting where some people, even without you trying, they'll ostracize themselves because of how they perceive you. You know what I mean? And they might not know that how they're perceiving you is tied to your fantastically fake social media life. You know what I mean? What's Bread's real name? You know Bread, Mel. Bread's name is Sheldon Barrett. He played cricket at Michael. He played football. He's about yay big and light skinned. Look him up on Facebook. You see, we're doing it right now. We're connecting. We're connecting people. Like we said, people make money. People do it for entertainment, like I'm doing right now. People do it to break from their stressful day. Let me see what Shauna K is saying here. Feelings of inadequacy are sparked by comparison fostered by social media. We must remember that some show what they want to, sometimes the 5%, and others think this is their life. That's why you encourage your viewers to run their own race. And I mentioned this, I think, in last week's show. I can't see myself again. Mentioned this in last week's show where I'm saying you can't measure yourself against somebody else's measuring stick. You need to look at the opportunities you were given. This is how I live my life. You look at the opportunities that you are given, you make use of the opportunities that you are given, and you make sure that you are not squandering those opportunities. And as long as you are not squandering those opportunities, then that's it. You have played the best hand you can with the cards that you are being dealt. And to me, that is success. This is why at times we try to downplay things just to avoid the spotlight, because you know what I mean, sometimes you don't want to draw unwanted attention to yourself. What I was saying though, so this came up some time ago. A man that let's look at a ladder. Let's use a ladder as this for this analogy. A man that starts the race on rung 8 on the ladder. Him father and grandfather already established and everything. He starts the race on the 8th rung of the ladder, and he goes to rung 9 on the ladder. Somebody else was not on the ladder at all. They don't have nothing. They people come from wherever, they don't have nothing. They pull themselves up by them bootstraps and reach to the 3rd rung on the ladder. So though this person is at rung 9 and the other person is at rung 3, who achieved more? You understand? You just inheriting daddy's money and living and continuing the company that daddy started or grandpa started. Does that make you great? Or when you come from Norway with nothing and make something out of it, does that make you great? Even though you don't reach as far as the person that has a lot, but you took your circumstance of nothing and made it into something. What actually makes you great, which makes you greater than the other person? You see what I'm saying? So you can't judge yourself based on somebody else's race and how they're running it. You, in my opinion, need to take your own situation that you find yourself in and the cards that you're dealt and try to play the best hand you can from those cards that you're dealt. You understand? Brady is saying, this is why at times, okay, I did see that already. Melly saying she agrees 100% with Sean K. And Cecilia is saying, we have to realize that we are all on different paths in life. The fact is that our path cross at point, life doesn't mean that we're headed in the same direction. And this is so true. And I think sometimes we confuse it too. The fact that you and I cross paths don't mean we're going in the same direction, bro. It just means that we cross paths. You know what I mean? What do I have here? Sometimes it just break up a stressful day, sometimes just to convey information. Now, the question is, does it matter that my Facebook doesn't match my life? The topic is my fantastically fake social media life. Does it actually matter that my Facebook and my life don't really match? Or are we sometimes just taking the whole thing too seriously? You know what I mean? Why don't you get to be great however you want to be great? Yes, I'm going to project these things. Yes, I want to take a picture in front of these Maserati. It's not my Maserati, Bridget. At the mall, me there. I go to the mall, if I go buy. I went to the mall to buy, you know, one of them curl or something for my eyelash. I buy one $25 sunglass in the middle of the mall and me I go through. And when I come outside, me see a Maserati. And I feel nice in myself. I done dress up before my left house. And I pose in front of the Maserati. I know my Maserati. But I feel nice in idea. I'm out and about in the Maserati. Then I take a picture with the Maserati and it make me feel good when I post it. It's not my Maserati. Does that make me a bad person? It made me feel good when I posted it. Does that make me a bad person? The channel is saying to each his own. If it floats your boat, then do it. Be you, me your business. There you have it. Be you, me your business. The questions I posted when I posted the show said, what is social media? Did I drop my charger? All right, we need to wrap this up because I can't find the charger. I'm about to with it. What is social media for you? It is a space for your life's greatest hits. Is it therapy or is it a place where you project your ideal self? Okay, so I'm actually gonna have to find the charger. Forgive me, people. People, in the bottom half now. Lucky thing, me never do that show you. You know me underpants like I've done before. But yeah. What is it for you? You know what I mean? You get to be great however you want to be great, right? Your social media is your social media. You get to play the cards however you want to play the cards. And that's the ball game, folks. That's the ball game. So, in closing, let's turn to hymn number 97. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. I'm out of time too, by the way. How long is this show? Hour and 17 minutes. Iconic advice here. Late. We're going to wrap up the show just so you don't get any show today because you're late. Brett is saying, I think what matters most is the fact that people are faking it and then presenting the fakeness for you to admire. That not good or hearted. Yeah, but Brett, here's the thing. What if that's their therapy? What if these people are genuinely depressed and dressing up have a way of making people feel good, right? So what if it's a case where I'm genuinely depressed? I'm genuinely going through some stuff. I might have lost a loved one. I might have lost my job. I might have been furloughed during COVID. I might have my bills stacking up. I might just be in a bad situation. And the day that I got dressed and felt good for the first time in however long going out, my makeup is on as a female, or I just have on something that's sharp as a male. And I go out there and I take some picture and I post them and a whole bunch of my friends like them and it make me feel good. What if that alleviates this stress that I'm feeling and keeps me from going to take up my AR-15, which may have outside in the garage and go shoot up people? Is that not a better outcome? You know what I mean? Should we actually be judging these people based on them representing themselves however they want to represent themselves on social media because we don't think that this is how they should be? G. Cole, Chuck, make you come so late. You know, since they show soon done. I'm still coming to grips with how much people make social media affect them one way or the other. And that's what I'm saying. That's kind of what I'm saying right here now, G. It's like You know, what if this is just my mojo? This is how I escape my reality. My reality sucks. I went to college, I got the degree, like mommy and grandma tell me if you do, me can't get no work, me sit down a yard, me stress out. But when me dress up and me go out, me can take two picture in my clean clothes, me feel good, me post it, people like it, and know the car behind me is not my car. And yes, at the Dollar General me go, that is beside the, the Burberry. You know what I mean? The dollar store across the road and the Burberry over here, so, or the Clark store over here, so, or the whatever store over here. So I'm a post. Yes, I posted in front of the car and I check in like I was at that store, but I was really at the Dollar General, $1.25 General. Does that make me a bad person? It made me feel better in that moment that I felt down. That uplifted me. The fact that I get 35 likes or 100 likes or 10 likes made me feel better in that moment, made me feel better about myself, made me feel better about the bad situation that I was in. Is that a bad thing? It's not my Maserati. It just happened to be in the parking lot. And the guy happened to park beside my Honda Civic. As I was getting into the Honda Civic, I was like, damn, that Mazzy looked bad. I step beside the Mazzy, I take a picture and post it. Really, the Honda Civic back tire in the picture, but most of the Maserati in there. Does that make me a bad person? Am I wrong for doing that? Is the fact that that helped me out of a slump that I was in emotionally, does that make me a bad guy? Let me see what I have here. Let me get caught up on these things here. Um, G Cole is saying, G, you should meet Bread. He's a riot just like you're a riot. The riot here, Mel is saying there's a difference in posting a Maserati um, caption, the dream, and posting one that's saying all mine. But to say, let me see, but as you say, why do others care about what others post so much to the point where they bent out of shape about it? You know what I mean? Brett is saying, you are gonna late for your own funeral. Why you have trouble sharing it for, boy? Make you be yourself. Sure. Um, let's see what we have here. Who we have? Stacey is saying social media for me is the same as when I first came on it. Liking the people, liking the people that I lost touch with, getting a few laughs, learning a few things. G Cole is saying, if you get two girl off of the pic, I ain't mad at you. You know what I mean? I post the pic, I post the Maserati. It's not my Maserati. Two damsels see the Maserati, them like the Maserati, they message me, and me get two damsel off of the Maserati that mine because the Honda Civic they beside it. You know what I mean? The Kia Soul is mine. But sure, when I go pick them up, I tell them, say, I pick them up in a Kia Soul, I tell them, say, the Mazda there. The Mazda there, the shop. Um, it all comes down to life in general. To each his own. I concur. Um, Ashana K is saying, I'm not policing anyone because there are many people who are showing up authentically on social media. It is hard, let me make sure I'm reading this right. It is hard to distinguish what is fake from what is not because some of them are not as overt. I don't believe in cosmetic fixes that is intentionally misleading. However, people should be free to share parts of their life that they want to, and I concur. But it's tricky. You know what I mean? You see they post some of these things where these females, can I say that? Gee, can I say that? Some of the people they look busted, and then they show a picture after the makeup when they put on the wig, and you're like, this is criminal. This is like some sci-fi movie. This is like some beam me up Scotty type something. You know what I mean? When they just totally transform with the makeup and the wig, and you're like, this not right. And I hear what you're saying, but I guess the argument I'm saying, I guess the argument I'm making is that if these things are helping people that are in bad situations, is that a bad thing? If these things are helping people that are depressed, that are dealing with some real issues, and the fact that they can put this out there, people can like and share it, and because of that, it gives them that. Remember earlier we talked about the psychology and the psychological things that take place in the brain in relation to social media. If they're getting those positive derivatives from it, is that a bad thing for them? Whether or not it is their real lives. You know what I mean? G saying, not your car, and it's not her boobs, and it's not her hair, and she have on makeup, it's not her eyelash, it's not her you know what around the background. So it's all fair game, innit? You know what I mean? It's all fair game, innit? How you go have on a wig and judge me because I'm posing in front of the Maserati that not mine? That wig ain't yours. Okay, the wig is yours because you bought it. Gee, you know, sometimes when you talk about some things, you really have to get your British accent, innit, mate? Okay, so I'm going to get in my British accent for this one because I don't want anybody getting confused. I don't want anybody get confused, innit? So let's do this. You have your wig on, yeah? So it's your wig. You bought it with your money, innit? Okay, well, here I am. My car's parked in. The Mozzie is beside it. Technically, I'm taking a photo of my car. The Mozzie just happens to be in the background as well. And I posted it. I didn't tell you to think that the Mozzie was mine. The Honda is mine. The Kia is mine. And I posted the Mozzie too. Whatever assumptions you drew, love, that's just on you in it. All right, but don't know. You saying, I don't think the issue is with the posters. It's what more so the critical viewers, most of which are viewing in hiding anyways. And we did cover that earlier in the show. The people that are just doing, the people that are just posting to make other people jealous and all these things. See, I can't manage you. You're lucky me never have G. I'm almost reach out to you for the show you for me with me now because that show you just chop. All right, folks. So I'm actually gonna leave y'all. I genuinely am not gonna have time to read any poems for you today. But I guess here's what I want us to really look at. I get it. There are a lot of people out there. The study that I actually drew a lot of the information from said, what was it? 75% of people that are on here, they misrepresent themselves. They misrepresent who they are. They misrepresent where they are, what they do, who they're with, how they look, all that. But in a sense, isn't it just a extension of what we are actually doing in real life and the situation that we've created? Right now, can I do this? Where's my phone? Phone, where there? Phone. Bloody hell, mate. Okay, here's my phone. I'm going to show y'all something, and I just lost my picture just now. But I'm going to show y'all something, and I hope y'all can see it because I can't see anything on my phone. Y'all going to have to guide me through this one. So, if I go on Instagram, if I go on my Instagram, where's the camera? I hope, I don't know if you can see, but if I go on my Instagram right now, and I hit the search button, this is what pop up on the search button. Can y'all see? I don't know if y'all can see. I'm gonna move it around. That's what pops up on the search button. Okay, that's what pops up on the search button. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 women, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them are posting their posterior ends. Here goes 3 African ladies who have a jeans store, right? And you back that up, and like I said, this is what you see. This is what you see. I haven't searched anything yet. I haven't searched anything. Let me scroll up and see what happened. I haven't searched anything at all. But these are the kind of things you see. You know what I mean? And it's like, so this is what's out there. Why do you think this is what I'm searching for? It prompts you to look at these things. You know what I mean? I haven't even typed in what I'm searching for yet. I just hit the search button and these things pop up. Um, I don't know if that's a little of everything, Kleshia. It's kind of slanted to one side, just a tad. You know what I mean? So, and this, the side that is slanted to is many of those photos had very fit females with big posteriors, and it's almost like we're in a posterior competition in the world today with women. Men don't complain about it, but this is what it is. So if I'm somebody that don't have that, it's so funny. I went to the gym the other day where I live, and there was a young lady there. She was white. I don't think that's relevant, but I said it anyways. And every exercise I saw her do was an exercise geared toward making your butt bigger. And I'm like, you poor thing. Mind you, based on her build, she's never going to have a bigger butt, and I didn't want to point that out to her. But she was working so hard at it. You know, she was working so hard at it because it's a thing now. And I felt like the poor thing was under so much pressure, feeling like she has to have a big butt like black people. And she was there, and it was like every exercise you can think of, she was doing. You know, and I felt like she was just being pressured. Anyways, let's see. G. Cole just said, type in ugly and nothing comes up. No ugly girl there. I'm going to try it. G. Cole, I'm going to try it right now. G says, I just open my Instagram, hit the search button, and type in ugly. And search. Nothing comes up. At least no girl came up. You're right. Mel is saying you can definitely build the butt. Yes, and she was trying. She was assiduously trying to build it. She gonna take some building for that particular individual that I saw. But here we are. The question that I want to leave us with though is it actually wrong? Is something actually wrong with projecting something that's not authentic? Depending on the role that it serves for you. You know what I mean? Like I said, there are a lot of people out there. Mental wellness has boomed in America recently, where people are taking mental wellness days. People are thinking there's a whole thing on mental wellness now, especially after COVID, depression, suicides, all kind of things spike, right? And if I'm able to use social media to get me through, however that is, whatever it look like, does that make me a bad person? Does that make me a bad person? All right. All right, peoples. I'm gonna jump off now. I have to read a poem. I'm not gonna talk about it at all. I'm just gonna read it for you. I don't think anybody has read this poem before. It's called Inbox. I have no idea what it is about, but it's called Inbox. I wrote this in 2014. And it's an inbox, I think was from social media. That's why I'm reading it, because it's called Inbox. It says, I received a letter from a friend that put things in perspective again. As I read through the lines, I felt a tear down my eyes. Not of sadness, but of joy for a long lost little boy who, through his actions unknowing, a seed was planted that kept growing. And though the years have changed the outlook, much like the chapters in a book, a tree from roots, branches spread wide, we see so much, we lose our sight. We know so much, yet we are foolish, our thoughts guided as if bewitched. We know the way, but do not follow. There's something missing. The space is hollow. All grown up, still he knows, no matter how tall he grows, the branches are dependent on the root, as are we, the way and truth. The voice calls him, he doesn't go. The road to take, he doesn't know. He goes through the motions and plays his part, hoping to be judged by the desires of his heart. A poem, Chronicles of a Black Man. Poetry is my jam. I'm not going to leave y'all without reading one for y'all. Cliche said, I love everything. G. Cole says, typing out, oh, I had touched that. Mel is saying, you can definitely build a but. Cliche is saying, yes. All this fakeness have the people them mind unstable. You're wrong at all. Or Mel is saying how people choose to portray themselves on social media is wrong. Social media is wrong. Is to me saying you should care about how they are perceived by others, and really, should we care? That's kind of like what I'm saying, Mel. Should we care? Should we care? Julian is saying good night to everyone. I will catch y'all next time. And you know what? You know what, Julian? I'm gonna take that cue. I'm gonna take that cue. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the Even People Show. I thank y'all for joining me tonight. I'm gonna see if I can get some guests on next week so we can mix it up a little bit more. We're all on social media. Some of the statistics I put out there earlier said of the 7.8 billion people on the planet, 35.6% of them are on social media, are on Facebook even, which represents 2.7 billion people. That's a lot of people. It has an impact. It affects people's lives. Whether we like it or not, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So just check yourself now. See why you're on there. See what you do on there. Try to understand why you do what you do on there, and don't just get sucked in. Don't just get sucked in by the hype. You know what I mean? All right. Till next time. I'm Martin Matthews. I'm your host. This is the Even People Show, and I'm out.